Hello, baby.
Hello, nasty. Hello there.
Hello.
I say hello.
Hello, friend. Well, hello, little girl.
Hello, my treacherous friends.
Hello, operator.
The beginning of everything.
Welcome back, my friends. It's showtime.
Everybody,
I'm in the middle of something.
welcome.
You see it? It's like a little.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of something.
What
I
you're,
don't know.
welcome. You're live on the Brink of Sanity
Jesus.
podcast.
It's a worm.
It's a
You're on camera.
It's a
is
lizard.
Oh, no, you're not, I guess. Oh,
What's going on, Bry's house?
Yeah.
It's very unprofessional.
Bry, how dare you not be professional on this unprofessional podcast?
somebody missed the do not disturb sign.
I didn't know what the hell was going on. I thought it was coming from I was trying to find out what sounds were coming from my computer.
There's like a dead worm she found in the basement and she's having a meltdown. But she was fine when she found a snake in the grass the other day and I wanted to burn the whole yard down.
She was
I
fine
assume-
when we weren't podcasting.
What?
What's going on with the snake in the ground or the worm, or what's going on, Bry? Lesson on your life.
Try that again. Welcome to the Brink of Sanity, episode 418. I am Jay, and with me is Marc, Bry, and apparently Bry's wife in the background.
I'm apparently not in Iceland as it looks like I am on my camera.
Oh man, I really thought you were
Before you
there.
put that background up, I was like, he doesn't usually do that, but like, okay, whatever, I'll go with it.
Good thing I did. Now we had quite a scene behind me. Now the dogs are barking.
Craziness.
It's like when I'm annoyed, let's just annoy me more. Okay.
I assumed Bry himself was a do not disturb sign.
I kind of am.
Cool. How you guys doing? So we're doing the show because partly because we haven't done a show in a while, and partly because Jay leaves for Thailand soon, and he's like, "God damn it, we haven't done a show in a while."
Well, we were all set to do one at the Met game, but Jay no-showed on us.
Yeah, it's
What's
true.
up with you, Jay? You were supposed to be there at the Met game with us.
I love how for us to do a show, it has to be like under duress or like guilt tripped. It's like,
Jay, we're Joe Rogan and you're Kamala Harris.
that's
You'll
true.
do the show on our terms.
By the way, Brian and I have discussed it, and if you want to record with us while you're in Thailand, we'll make ourselves available. Whenever you want to do your show, the podcast from Thailand, we can just do it. Bring the podcast equipment with you to Thailand. It'll be fine.
So when I'm in America, you guys don't want to record, but when I'm in Thailand, you guys are anytime you
I
want.
think
Jay.
the best
Couldn't be
time to
more
talk to people
available.
would be while you're on the plane, I think. That'd be the best time.
Yeah, that'd be good. Doing a podcast on a plane will not disturb anyone on the plane.
I do appreciate you taking time away from harassing people on the phone to do this podcast today.
I mean, maybe we'll get lucky and someone will try to open the door. We'll get it on TV.
Sir, are you podcasting on the plane? Yes. It's an important episode. My co-hosts are available. There was about the same number. Well, at least there's 5 or 6 people out there listening, so it's important podcasting it out there.
You don't
Sir,
understand.
aren't you a little old to be podcasting on a plane? Isn't that a millennial thing?
Yeah, you guys don't understand. I have to record around the Mets schedule and the kids' schedule and the sleep schedule, and it.
Well, we got plenty of time for the Mets now, so.
Yeah.
Jay, I can still record late. You don't need to sleep. It's fine.
Oh yeah, that's right. We could also do it like in the wee
As
hours.
late
of the
as you
evening.
want. What sleep schedule are you talking? Oh, your wife's sleep schedule?
Just us not being able to sleep and being functional. I mean,
That's fine. You're talking about your wife's sleep schedule. Was that a shot at your wife?
no, I was talking about like Bry has sleep issues too, and
How dare you, sir?
Okay, Bry's
no,
fine.
Bry got whatever that thing where they install the machine in his body, and he's totally fine now.
Yeah.
So Jay was referencing me calling. I've been making. I don't want to go political at all, but I was making calls for Kamala. And you were referencing that, right?
This is what you're doing in your free time. You're just harassing poor people on the phone. I've
I've
what
done
are
it all
you
a couple
doing?
times.
What are you doing?
I did it for
That's not
Biden.
true.
I
In his
did
free
it.
time, he's also harassing you on this podcast.
Yeah, I did it for Obama. I think I might have done it for Hillary in 2016. Only a couple times. I mean, but so far it's going swimmingly. Someone, as I think I told you guys, someone kept calling me a cocksucker. And you're a cocksucker. Could not stop calling me a cocksucker. That was wonderful. A lot of hangups. Someone told me you were working for the what was it? The epitome of filth.
How are you getting these numbers? Are you just randomly
I'm
putting
just
in
dialing.
numbers?
I'm just dialing a Pennsylvania area code, and like, what do you think they give you? So basically, how it's set up is there's an automatic dialer in your computer. You just click next call, and they just it just basically connects you to a
Like,
call.
what's the algorithm though? Because it sounds like you're getting people who hate Kamala. So,
You mean I'm getting Americans?
I mean, like, it just seems like, is there any thought into this, or is it just
I'm
like,
sure there is. I also got people who are pro her. I think I got more people. So it's only really battleground states. I'm not calling someone in California to convince them to vote for who they're going to vote for anyway. So it's battleground states. I mean, there's so many people making calls. One guy was like, "This is my eighth call of the day. I get 8 calls a day every day for the last few months. Please make it stop."
The whole thing is so stupid though, because I mean, who answers their phone from a number that you don't know these days?
Someone was screaming at me. They were like,
Somebody who wants to scream at you.
someone was like, "Do you think there's anyone left in America that is undecided at this point? Who are you trying to convince?" It's like, "Thank you, sir. I'll check you off as hostile."
Yeah, and what are you waiting for?
what's your opener?
I mean, it's not like I have a script I have to follow. I can't be like, "Yo, what's going on?" Though,
No, but like, what's the opener? Like, have you heard of Kamala?
First of all,
Have you heard?
hang on.
Heard Puerto Rico is an island full of garbage?
So at somewhere, so I was like, I'm working for Kamala Harris, whatever, and they're like, the woman's like, "You pronounced it like Trump does. It's Kamala." She's like, she got like really annoyed at me. I was like, I'm sorry. I apologize. I've been pronouncing it wrong. I'm sorry.
But like, oh, so you have to say I'm calling on behalf of.
It'll say like the script will say, "I'm calling on behalf of Democrats for Pennsylvania." They'll give you a script of like things that Kamala is like really good at, really good for. She's gonna bring down. It's also such bullshit because it's like, and I don't. Again, I'm voting for her, but it's like she's gonna bring down grocery prices and make the state more affordable and protect abortion and. I'm like, it's
Just stuff
I guess
that
they're both just
no president has control of at all.
they're both just lying. Trump makes all these lies, but all her promises are lies also. And you don't even know what you're gonna do because you're gonna get there and shit's gonna happen basically, like COVID or something crazy, and then you have to figure out which person's less of a piece of shit, basically.
What great times! So
Great times.
This
But
must be a fun experience.
also my kids were like, "Dad, can we try making calls?" And I was like, there's no one monitoring this at all. Like, I can make calls for Trump and just be like, "Trump says he wants to deport all the Jews," and like just see if people will not vote for him. Like, I could just say bad things about Trump to his voters.
You should do one for Kamala where you're like, "I'm calling on behalf of Kamala Harris. I want you to vote for her. She's gonna take your gun away, and she's gonna like do like all the things that Trump says, but be like, no, but you should vote for her because that's what she's gonna do."
Well, I want her to win, but I just hate Trump. But my kids were like, "Can I do a calls?" And so my daughter gets on there, and she's immediately like, "Hi, I'm not doing like her voice. I'm doing the fake voice she's doing. She's like, "Hi, I'm Betsy Ross. I'm calling you for," and I'm like, "You're prank calling people with these are real people you're prank calling." And then I'm like, just prank call them. I don't give a shit.
That's hilarious. I heard about this one guy was playing Madden online, and he was really good at it, but he let his like 5-year-old niece put on the headset, so the guy thought he was losing to like a 5-year-old, which I thought was really funny. He's like, he scored a touchdown. You just hear like, "I like cookies."
Wonderful. Wonderful. "You fucking piece of shit. Poop in my pants."
That's how these gamer people end up killing themselves because I think they lose to 5-year-old girls.
Right.
Do you guys? Okay, Brian, you're not really a gamer, right?
No.
Okay, but Jay, you're still a gamer.
Yeah.
Do you play games still, like video games online against strangers?
There's like one game I do. I don't do any like the Call of Duty, like the first person, like shoot each other. Like I don't play those.
Okay, I get the video games maybe you're playing your friends. It seems really weird. I guess I can understand it on some level. It's not that it's weird even to play online. It's that like I guess whatever. And then maybe it's not that weird to talk to people. It's really weird when people are fighting with people while they're playing the game.
I mean, the game I play, like nobody talks. I haven't heard one person talk the entire time I've been playing.
Yeah, that seems more natural. It's like, here, these are strangers. I don't really want to talk to them, but I need someone else to play the game with, kind of thing.
I'm playing a game that's like Smash Brothers, but it's owned by Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers owns everything apparently. So it's got like the DC characters, but then it's got like Scooby Doo and Looney Tunes, Game of Thrones, like just this like the Gremlins, Beetlejuice. It's just like all this random shit. It's pretty
Right,
cool.
Jay doesn't know this yet, but I sold Brink of Sanity to Warner Brothers, and like we're gonna be characters in the game. He's gonna be like, he's gonna upgrade the game. He's like, fuck, is that me?
Did,
That
did
was
you sell the
pretty
card game with it?
They wouldn't take it for free.
That's one of the moves. You throw the card game at people.
Jay, I have a would you rather for your newsletter or your game or whatever. You want? Can I give you a new good would you rather?
Mark,
Sure.
did you try selling the card game while you were plugging Kamala? Or
Yeah, I should have basically been like, I know you're voting for Donald Trump, but have you wanted you want a would you rather a day for a newsletter?
yeah, it'd be like here's a fun game on as an aside. Here's a fun game, and then read them some questions and see if they break the ice that way, and then be like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm calling on behalf of Kamala.
I wonder if they like are they listening to our calls? Like, could I just say anything I wanted? Like, I call people, and the whole time all I'm doing is plugging Brink of Sanity.
There's only one way to find out.
Yeah, what, are they gonna fire you?
Yeah, enough about the election. Do you like a dry comedy kind of podcast? There are a couple that really like it in Australia. I think you'd like it here in Pennsylvania.
Don't even like introduce yourself or say hello. As soon as they answer the phone, just give them a would you rather.
Or I'm like, hi, this is Mark from the Brink of Sanity podcast. You may know me from the maker of the Brink of Sanity game.
You may know me from the Brink of Sanity podcast and just that.
I
really
Just
call
play
it
like a
happens.
clip of the show as soon as they answer.
I should call up and just endorse Donald Trump and see if that will lose the election for him.
Yeah.
Okay, I got my would you rather. I think about bringing you a would you rather every week.
Okay.
By every week, I mean every like couple months we do the show. Would you rather have to fit the word aroused into every conversation, or have to jump in the air? It could be a small jump, but jump every time a person asks you a question.
I'll jump.
Probably jump.
Jump. You want to fit the word aroused?
No. 'Cause-
It is the most awkward. Can you use the word aroused in a sentence that doesn't make someone giggle?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like as soon as that rule is put into effect, I'm gonna have to deal with like a funeral or something, and it's just
Yeah.
not gonna go well.
I have to say, when we buried Grandma, your speech about her was so arousing.
Or get invited to, or get asked to like babysit like a 6-year-old or something.
I mean, like, the good thing is, I'm going to let you know, I will not get aroused around the kids. I'm saying I won't get aroused. It'd be
Right.
more bad if I got aroused. I won't get aroused.
I thought I'd just throw that out there unprovoked.
I just want to let you know, since I've been taking that medication, I'm not aroused anymore.
That might make it tough to call to try to get people to vote for Kamala.
Hi, I'm aroused for Kamala.
Are you aroused for Kamala? Well, wait until you hear this. I have a whole list of lies for you.
Listen, I don't know if you know this, but Kamala can get. Oh, this is one to call. So it's one guy, and a couple people also just pretend to speak Spanish, and you know they're just pretending, but you just let it go because
Yeah.
I am bothering people. So one guy's like, "Oh, you're calling for Kamala?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, you're gonna be happy with this." I'm like, "Okay, are you supporting Kamala?" "Yeah, you know why I'm supporting her? Because when she gets in office, she's gonna make the booty drop." And then he hung up.
Hilarious. That guy should do
was-
stand up.
Yeah, that's the.
You called Tony Hinchcliffe?
Yes. Who, in his defense, Jon Stewart also in like Daily Show mentioned this, gave it like defense also. He's a funny comic that just shouldn't be there. He's an insult comic. Why would you have him at your thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He made offensive jokes. His entire thing is making offensive jokes.
He's funny. I don't care. I know, like, probably not the best to taste calling Puerto Rico a floating pile of garbage, but he's funny.
I mean, if that tips Pennsylvania to Kamala, then he'll be hilarious.
I mean,
The
nobody
greatest
got
joke ever.
offended when Trump went to Detroit and said the whole country's turning into Detroit.
I don't know why people in Detroit didn't get offended. That should offend people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't using it as like a complimentary example.
No. Well, do you think anyone's ever said it's like Detroit in a complimentary way?
Isn't that where the first RoboCop took place?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like RoboCop was like, we need something that's beyond like just like apocalyptic. You want to set this like 300 years in the future? No, we'll use Detroit now.
Present day Detroit.
Present day Detroit.
I watched that movie like 2 weeks ago. It's still awesome.
It holds up.
Yeah. It really does.
Okay.
And I watched it with my dad, so I wasn't sure if he was gonna like it. And he's like, "This is way better than I thought it was gonna be."
You never saw it?
I think he might have seen it like 35 years ago. I don't think he's like seen it since.
I remember seeing RoboCop for the first time and thinking it was like the most violent movie I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well,
It
I
was
saw it
pretty
when I was
violent.
like 7, and like when they shoot his hand and his hand explodes, I was like, "Holy
Yeah.
fuck!"
I don't think my kids would like it. I was thinking about whether they'd watch it. They listen. Their new thing is that whatever movie I say, hey, do you kids want to watch RoboCop? Oh, we already saw it. No, you didn't. Well,
Just
no,
make-
we saw it. We
so
watched.
start
We watched it yesterday.
So
You're
start
lying.
making up movies.
I can just make up movies. They'll just lie about whatever movie it is. They're like, oh, already saw that. We watched it already. We watched it at school. You watched RoboCop at school? Yes, we had RoboCop day at school. Okay, great. Okay.
So when I was in elementary school, there was this Korean kid, and he used to just make up wild stories about Nintendo games in Korea. He'd just be like, "Yeah, we have Double Dragon 5 already, and we have Ninja Turtles 3," and just make up sequels that didn't exist. And then one day he's like, "I have like a Nintendo cartridge that has 100 games on it," and I was like, "Dude, you've been lying to me for months." And he came over with it, and it was actually a real thing. It had like this switch you hit in the back, and like a list of like 25 full games would come up, and like
Oh, wow.
not like garbage games, like real like Double Dragon and Legend of Zelda, and like yeah. So like the one time he wasn't lying, like he it was weird, blew my mind seeing something like that.
JJ just turns to him and goes, okay, now I believe you about that teacher touching you.
Right.
Oh, you were saying, Jay, on when we were chatting earlier about like the new Marvel movies coming out.
Mm-hmm.
What was what was it?
They
Like DEI.
well, they're having it's not Iron Man, it's Iron Heart, and so it's an female African American Iron Man, and then they're making a Wonder Man TV show. And if you're asking who
Isn't Wonder Man Superman?
No, Wonder Man is like a 1970s Marvel character who joined the Avengers and did like almost nothing.
I'm assuming he's not white because there's no way he could be white.
Well, it was the 70s, so yes, he was white. He's not
No,
white.
I mean the new.
Oh, the
version.
new show? No, he's
In
not.
the 1970s, everyone was white. Yeah.
Pretty much. It was like
Wonder Man sounds like a male Wonder Woman. Is that?
Isn't that? I assume that's what it was.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
what
he wasn't
figured.
Amazonian. He wore like red tinted sunglasses, and that was his thing. But yeah, in the show, he's not white.
His thing was he had the power to block UV light.
He was like, he had red eyes, and he was strong. Like there was like nothing unique about him. He had like no. It was like a really shitty character. So the show's gonna be awesome.
So I have an idea for like those for their next Marvel they want to keep up with the times and be like diverse and include everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And Superman, I guess, is not Marvel. But I don't give a shit. They'll take Superman, but he'll be disabled in a wheelchair and have no superpowers because his only superpower a disabled person needs is the fact that they have love in their heart.
Did he fall off a horse?
Yeah, yes. That's actually I didn't even think of that.
That's
a
his
good
backstory.
one.
Wasn't
Yeah,
that?
Kind of already seen that one.
Yeah,
was in
and they're
an-
like he rips off his shirt. He's like, I'm Superman. They're like, can you help us? Well, I have to wheel over to you. And I am disabled. I can help you with parking.
That was in a Living Color skit, Handyman.
Handyman,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay, I just ripped off Little Living Color. Okay, fine.
You never saw that?
I did now that you mentioned it.
Okay.
Many years ago. That was pretty funny.
Are you excited for the Wayans to come back to the Scary Movie franchise and make Scary Movie 6?
How do
Are they
Wayans
doing
brothers
that?
keep getting
Yeah.
work? They have a
'cause
show
they're-
now. Damon Wayans and his kid. It's like, how do these people keep getting work?
They're pretty funny though. I mean, they made Living Color was like an all-time great show, and they're pretty
Yeah, but that was
funny.
like 30 years ago.
Scary Movie itself was a really funny movie.
I hated it.
You hated Scary
stand it.
Movie?
I went to the movies, and I think I laughed once the entire movie.
Okay, I was coming back I had studied abroad in Australia. I had a flight back. I had a layover a 24-hour layover in Los Angeles. Had nothing to do. I went to like Santa Monica area and went to the movies by myself. I saw this. I never just heard of it. I just saw like this movie's out. I don't think it's up there with the most I've ever laughed in a movie. I was dying the whole time.
I am definitely not in the mainstream, I think, when it comes to comedies. I went over a girl's place in high school, and she put on Austin Powers, and I had such a straight face for the whole movie. After the movie ended, she turned to me and said, "I'm sorry." That's like I didn't even crack a smile for like that entire
Do you
movie.
only laugh at Polish movies about baby rape?
No, I didn't. I did not find the Serbian film funny, but like
Okay.
I have a dark sense of humor. Like Very Bad Things for me is like the like one of
Besides
the
Very
funniest
Bad
movies.
Things, which you mentioned on the show before, what other comedies do you actually like? Because I can't believe we do the show together and you have no sense of humor.
My my top five comedies are probably top of my head. Very Bad Things, Bad Santa, Fletch, Airplane, and maybe Big Lebowski. There's another one I can never remember.
So Big Lebowski, so you put that there. Is Big Lebowski really? I love Big Lebowski. I think it's amazing. Yeah, there's like funny lines, and especially like you repeat them later. But is it really funny? Were you laughing out loud when you're watching that movie?
No, it's just a lot of like throwaway lines that are the funniest part, I think.
Right, right. I mean, there's a lot of good lines in that movie. It's a great movie. I love that movie. It's not like Airplane is comedy. Like the other ones are more comedy,
I don't like that kind of humor.
like funny humor.
No, like the
What do
parody,
you like?
the parody humor, like the Naked Gun, Airplane, like a guy with a straight face walks through a funny background, like that just doesn't do it for me. I don't know, and I think
really
Austin
like.
Powers is in that vein.
I really like Not Another Teen Movie. Also, I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, I
But
didn't see that.
no, don't bother since it's the exact same thing. So, what other Jay? We heard what Bry likes. What comedies do you like? Besides Very Bad Things, 800 times. You've said it like every third episode of the show. You
love
say,
it. I love
really like Very Bad Things.
Plane, Trains, and Automobiles, one of my
Okay,
all-time
yeah.
favorites. Horrible Bosses, really like that.
Which is pretty mediocre, but go on.
Yeah.
I know it's subjective, but it's mediocre.
Yeah, I thought that movie was hilarious. I think I thought Horrible Bosses 2 was even funnier.
You're the one.
Knocked Up,
Knocked Up was pretty funny.
21 Jump Street, I thought was really funny.
Okay.
Was it supposed to be?
Yeah, no, the new
Jay's
one.
just talking about the 1980s TV show.
Yeah, not the no, they made
He's
21.
like, they're supposed to be in high school, but they're clearly not in high school. It's so funny.
the one with Channing
Never-
Tatum and Jonah Hill.
Yeah, no, I'm aware of it. I just didn't realize it was a comedy.
It was
was a
surprisingly,
comedy.
it was
It was a
surprisingly funny, actually.
Yeah, I mean they done a lot of remakes where they just make them like they did 21 Jump Street and that was just a comedy. They did Baywatch as a comedy. Like they did a lot of like remakes where they're like, hey, the source material is so stupid. Let's make it funny.
22 Jump Street was funny too.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, something about Mary I thought was funny.
The only about Mary is probably the hardest I've ever laughed in a movie.
Yeah, I was doing mystery shopping at I don't know if you're familiar with like they pay you to like go in undercover and like do different things. Like you go to a fast food place and they'll pay for your meal and you have to fill out a questionnaire afterwards. Like how long did you wait? Did they greet you? Did they ask to upsize you? Blah blah blah. And
Do you do a reveal while you're doing it?
no. So
Well, little did you know when you upsize me, I'm the mystery shopper. Dun,
Every
dun.
now and then I'll be at a store and something will go wrong. I'll be like, "Don't worry, I'm not a mystery shopper." I'll just say
You
it
should
to
just
throw 'em off.
Oh, you've
always
done
say
that?
you're the mystery shopper. Anytime they're helping with anything, just want to let you know, if you find me that sneaker in my size, I'm the mystery shopper.
So I had a mystery shopping job where I'd have to count the amount of people in a movie, and so they
Which
pay.
must be easy to do in the dark. Yeah,
Well, I'd have to get there like early and count as people were walking in. So,
Jesus with a flashlight. Sir, I'm just trying to. I'm the mystery shopper.
so I had that job when Something About Mary came out. So I saw the first 15 minutes of that movie like 20 times, and it was fun just watching the entire crowd just like dying during that part.
Did they ever say anything to you like, "Sir, you can't just sit in this goddamn movie"?
No, because they would pay for my movie ticket, and then I would sneak into all the other ones. So,
Oh, it wasn't. You sneak into the different like.
yeah,
You were sneaking into the different movies.
yeah, because that's how I got multiple
You never
jobs.
heard of this, Mark?
No, I heard a mystery shopper, but I didn't know mystery shopper was like, you mind breaking the law while you're there?
Well, they were like, we'll pay for, you to do a mystery shop at this movie. But then I would take like 8 jobs at the same movie theater staggered so I could just hop from movie to movie and do the count.
How are you the most in-demand mystery shopper out there?
I like lived off of it for a few months. It was
How much were you making as a mystery shopper?
It wasn't a lot. I mean, they would pay for the movie and like $8. But if I did like,
By the way, was this recent when you lost your job?
no, this was like way back, like in college.
Yeah.
But like I would, yeah. So I would do like they'd pay me like $5 to $8 a movie, and I'd pick up like 8 movies in a day. So then I got like $60. So
Okay. Do you ever like relive your glory and just pretend to be the mystery shopper?
I just stand in front. I stand in front of the screen and I'm just counting people.
Yeah, just be at the vitamin shop and be like, I need to open this pill, this thing, this counts number of pills. And mystery shopper.
So I think
I
the whole
agree
thing
that.
was to see if the movie theater was like fudging the numbers to, I guess, pay less taxes.
Yeah.
Okay, next time, Jay, do me a favor. Next time you're at Target, just like pee on the floor, and then when they say something, go, I'm the mystery shopper. I want to make sure you weren't allowed to do that here.
I'm pretty sure that's not how it works.
You get to tell anyone you're a mystery shopper?
Wouldn't that reveal the mystery?
I know, but it'd be hilarious. I just want to see
The
you be
chicks
like,
loved it.
listen, can I have your number? I'm the mystery shopper.
I did a whole bunch of weird jobs in like
Did you
college and just out.
did you ever take a girl on a date for mystery shopping?
No, that would be funny though. I was like, all right, babe, I just got to count everyone in this movie theater real quick.
And then we're free.
You're wondering how I afforded both tickets. Well, anyway, I gotta count everyone each.
Right. Also, after the movie, I have to fill out this three pages of paperwork first, and then we could go out to dinner.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Cool.
that
What's
was
going
my
on?
career to move there. Well, Bri had a story. I want to hear Bri's story.
Bro, what's your
Oh,
story? Tell us
all
a story
right.
about the time you were a mystery shopper.
Well, actually, I have a couple. I worked when I was like 16. I worked at a gas station, and several times mystery shoppers came in, and I got all A's on my.
So you knew they
It
were
was,
they were bad mystery shoppers.
I think
well, no,
Bry's
I
making
mean,
I think
I
Bry's
did.
making this up.
I did my job, so whatever. And then I had a brief stint where I had a job as a private investigator, and one day I had an assignment. I had to go somewhere in forget where it was, but I had to park outside of a Dunkin' Donuts, and I had to count how many people went in over like 4 hours. So it was kind of like the same as you, and it was kind of a pain in the ass because I had a notebook and I was just making dots like lines every
Hmm.
time. And then I would like get bored and stop paying attention, miss
You,
people, and
Bry, you were an investigator?
I was for like 6 months,
You didn't
seven
know that?
months.
I think it sounds somewhat familiar.
You're not familiar with the lore of the Brink of Sanity because Bri's
It
definitely
was
talked about this on the
yeah,
show.
it was a pretty boring job. It turned out it wasn't really my cup of tea.
Didn't you have to like sit in front of like somebody's house to see if they
Yeah.
came out with
Yeah, it was like
somebody?
surveillance on people, and like every single place I went was like in the middle of nowhere, so it was like I'd have to park like a mile from the person's house, and then just I never see them because I don't even know who they are. They'd
I
make
wonder
it.
if they have like it's like obviously that's incredibly boring and just waiting for that one photo.
Yeah,
I wonder if they have like AI cameras that could just like just take a picture only when the person like someone comes into view and you can
they
sleep in the
probably do
car.
now. I mean, this was almost 20 years ago now, so I mean, I
So,
had a big camcorder and stuff, and they made me tint my windows and all this stuff, and
oh, so you actually had to film the people like leaving the house.
yeah, I was supposed to film them and then like follow them if they went out. And like half the time I'm just like, fuck this, I don't care. So the person would come out and I'd be like, no, never saw
Was this like
They're like,
the?
Bry, you didn't see them murdering that person?
him.
I definitely
No,
was
it
there.
was
I
for
didn't see any of the
insurance. It
murder.
was for like workers' comp fraud, that kind of thing. Like,
Ah,
Oh,
okay, yeah. I was
yeah, it wasn't
asking.
like cheaters or anything. That would have been more exciting.
That's
But
that's exactly what I was about to ask. Was it like the
yeah,
show Cheaters?
yeah, no, that would have been exciting. But this was just, oh, I said I hurt my leg, and here I am mowing my lawn. Like,
Hmm.
who cares?
Hmm.
Somebody's
Bry
got
just
to mow
comes
the
to that
lawn.
house with a baseball bat. He's like, I'm gonna figure it out when you're injured.
I had a few people threaten me. Yeah,
Did you really?
yeah.
Oh,
What
so you got
what did people
spotted.
get
Yeah.
spotted?
You should
Well,
know.
I mean, most of the time it was just like this like rural area, so I'm like the only, and I'm like the only, and I had like Massachusetts, Connecticut, and New York, and most of them were in like New York, like upstate, not upstate, but just like between like Connecticut and like the city, and oh, there's an out-of-state random car just sitting here all day. Like, I wonder what they're doing in there.
Right,
So they
right.
knock on your window and you're like, sir,
Yeah.
I'm not spying on you. I've been jacking off all day. There's nothing under.
And then
Really,
like half the time I would end up if it was like a kind of a busier neighborhood, didn't matter. I'd have to get there at like 6 in the morning. So I get there when it's dark,
holy
park my
shit.
car, and no matter, and half the time it'd be like wherever I parked was like where the school bus came. So at like 7 o'clock, like I just look out my window and there's like a bunch of kids and parents standing there waiting for the bus, and I was like, oh hey, how's it going?
Does the parents are like whispering to their kids?
Yeah,
Real.
yeah.
don't get in his car. He doesn't actually have candy.
If you
Yeah,
ever
no, there
do
was
that,
one time this guy sort of, he didn't really threaten me, but he was just like, he came out and like knocked on the door, waved, and just told me to go fuck myself. And I was like, all right, cool, my day's over. I get to go home now.
Was that like the rule? Like once someone told you to go fuck yourself, you're allowed to leave?
Yeah, like once you got made, they told you had to leave. So, because then I guess it's harassment or whatever.
So you
But
should have gotten like a neon sign for the car that says investigator.
yeah,
Bri, you shouldn't have parked in their
Oh, you
driveway.
spotted my giant sign. Oh well, day's over.
Bri just
Yeah.
parked in their driveway.
yeah, there were times they're like, oh, go ring the doorbell and,
What?
act like you're selling something. I was like, I'm not gonna fucking. And then what? I'm gonna walk up and I was just like, this the whole like process was just so stupid. I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna sit in my car for 4 hours in front of this guy's house, then go ring his doorbell and be like, hey, do you know how to get to the highway from here or something? Just to see if it's the guy. And then I'm gonna go back, sit in my car for 4 more hours.
Holy
Like,
shit.
yeah, that's not suspicious at all.
Ding dong. Yes, sir. I'm selling something. What are you selling? Fuck.
Yeah.
Can I interest you in something that would strain a back if somebody had a back injury?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do your job though. I don't think I could sit there for 4 hours. Apparently, I can't sit. So I got an update from the doctor. I went to the doctor yesterday. He has confirmed my back is now a jelly donut, which basically means the whatever the herniated disc. At any time, I could do anything. He's like, He's like, don't deadlift or squat anymore. I'm like, I wasn't, but like, he's like, also, if you sneeze, you could hurt your back going forward. Like, just it can come out, you can be in serious pain from sneezing, and so going forward, like, you also just don't want to sit more than an hour straight. And I was like, oh, for how long? The rest of your life.
Jesus Christ.
Cool. He's like, I guess like after an hour, he's like, just stand up for 5 minutes, then you can sit back down if you need to. But like, really try to avoid sitting for a long period of time. Again, for the rest of my life, rest of your life.
Remember when
What-
we started this podcast and all our stories were about like going out and drinking and clubbing, and now it's about apnea and back pain.
He showed me a chart. And he's like, your back is kind of in the middle here. Healthy back up here, terrible back, like just like broken back down here. Okay, how do I go back up the chart? He's like, are you going to be 25 again? No. Then you don't go back up the chart.
Wonderful.
Cool.
Ouch.
Bri, did they give you like jars to pee in, or did you have to do that on your own?
Uh, they did not, but my mom was working at a nursing home at the time, and she stole me like a thing that the old people would use to pee in, so I had that in my car.
It would be great if Bride just knocked on the door and he's like, listen, I've been out there for 4 hours watching you. Can I just use your bathroom? I promise afterwards I'll go back out to the car, just stare.
I really learned how to like ration like peeing, eating, drinking, and it was also like they gave me like a laptop, but it was like really old. This is 20 years ago, so they weren't powerful or fast or had long batteries. So like I'd go on it and like ration like my like online time while sitting in the car and stuff. And a couple times, one time my car battery died because I had the radio on. And one time I got stuck on the side of the road because it was like in the winter, like it was snow and I kind of parked off the side and I kind of got stuck and then I was trying to get out and I just kept like sliding down the slope. So I had to call the tow truck.
Right. You also didn't have a smartphone. So like I don't know how to keep myself like just
Yeah.
doing nothing for 5 minutes without my phone. Like I
Yeah,
needed my
no,
phone
I
just
know.
like now you can't like go online and just like scroll like Twitter for those 8 hours.
Yeah. And it was like right like when GPS came out, but they were like super expensive. So I'd have to like print out the directions on MapQuest and go and like always get lost. And
So was
it
that like forever in your head if you had to like go to like take a piss and then you come back and then the rest of the day you're just thinking he probably came out of the house during those like 5 minutes I went to the bathroom?
maybe, yeah. I mean, I didn't really care that much, to be honest with you. I really didn't.
Did you ever call in sick with diarrhea because you're like, I just can't sit in the car today?
No,
Sorry.
I mean the one thing that was I mean I the one thing that was sort of beneficial it was Tuesday to Saturday. And it was one of those deals where like if you wanted a day off, you could just like work Sunday instead of like or Monday like instead of the day. So you didn't really have to like use a lot of like sick time or vacation time for like,
Oh, you could just, it was flexible about the days,
yeah,
basically.
you could kind of just switch out. So I never really used any of my time off, but it sucked in the summer because it was just so hot, and you're not
Mhm.
supposed to like run your car because you have to make it look like the car's empty. So that was tough.
Oh, so you have to make it look in the car. So you have to like lay down in the car? Or how did you like,
Well, they wanted you to have your windows tinted, and and then they would say like put up like a sunscreen like on your windshield, so it makes it look like so nobody could see in the car that you're there.
Can't you also
so
not
like they
see
got,
out of the car?
Well, yeah, that's the trick too. Yeah. So
This
I
sounds
would
like
have
the
like a
don't
little
walk in
like
front of the car. I can't
I'd
see
have like
shit.
depending on where I was looking, I'd have like a little flap open so I could kind of see where I was, what was going on.
it sounds
And
like the
then there's
most
gonna be times like,
half-assed thing I've ever
I
heard.
get there at like six, I get there at like 6 in the morning, so I would just put the seat back, take a little nap, wake up at 7. There's a couple times I just hear a knock on the window, and I'm like, "What? Where the hell am I?" And it'd be like, because I'm parked in front of the school bus or a cop or something.
Do you, did you ever, so you never had to tail anyone?
A couple times I did, yeah.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
actually
it
sounds kind of
wasn't as
fun.
much fun. I mean, it's not as exciting as it sounds. It's kind of hard. It's like it's hard. It's easy and it's hard at the same time because, like, in your head, you're like, "All right, this guy knows I'm following him," but like in reality, the guy probably has no idea that you're even like exist.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Jay, did you ever have to tail anyone as the mystery shopper?
No, no, that was definitely no like spy hijinks in the mystery shop.
Did anyone catch that you were tailing them as sorry, not the mystery, as the investigator?
I don't think so. I mean, I lost a couple guys in traffic. I was in. I had to follow this one dude. I had to go to the Bronx, and it was like the day before New Year's Eve, and it was like the middle of like the ghetto, like in the Bronx, and
The
and
ghetto in the
th-
Bronx. Okay.
they were like the guy has a hearing in like downtown, like I don't even remember where. So like if you don't see him by a certain time, just head there. So I'm like the guy came out, I think it was him. So like I followed him like downtown like to like Manhattan or something. And then like he just parked his car somewhere and I like lost him in traffic. And then I get out, I finally park the car and I go to like where the courthouse is and I couldn't get into the courthouse. And I'm just like, I called them up and I was like, I don't want to sound like whatever, but like, I'm not going to find this black guy in the middle of this city in this courthouse. Like, I have no idea what
Find a
where,
black man in the Bronx.
so I'll just go home, go back to his house and see if he comes back. And I went back to his house for like an hour and I just went home.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think
like, what kind of info is that? Like, yeah, the guy who lives there came back to where he lives.
Yeah.
Cool.
it would be funny though if you like you were tailing the guy and you like rear-ended him, just like, and then the guy's like, "Where are you going? That you're going so fast?" I was going, where are you going?
There are no, sometimes they'll schedule it when the person has like a doctor's appointment or like at a court or something so that they know the person's going to go out to see if they're going to like go somewhere else or whatever, you know.
Did you quit or get fired?
I quit. I just
You don't
kind
seem
of
so sure about that.
I quit, but I told my parents I got fired. So I was
That
like,
sounds like it could be a really boring job, wouldn't it?
yeah, and I had this manager who was pretty cool. He was pretty laid back. He didn't really care. And then he quit, and I got like his assistant manager like got bumped up, and he was kind of like a micromanager, and it was just
Oh.
like it was just
Sounds like the average tenure for that job would be like 6 months also.
yeah,
Like,
it
oh,
was
you're
about
quitting. That's the longest we've ever had someone.
yeah, it was about 8 or 9 months, I think.
Wouldn't you rather tell your parents you got fired? I mean, you quit than you got fired?
Um,
I'm assuming if you
no, because
quit, then they're like, why'd you
no,
quit?
what?
I'm assuming they're like, why'd you quit? Like fired
Yeah,
is easier.
yeah, because then they're gonna be like, oh, you're just gonna be lazy and not work again. So. I had to make it look like I said I got laid off because they like redistrict everybody, which was sort of true. They were doing that anyway. So
Jay,
Gotcha.
when you lose your job, do you tell your parents that you quit?
No.
also, I put a ton of miles on my car at the time too. It was just because I had like a 90-mile radius where I could go, and it's a couple times I had to go to like New Jersey.
Jeez.
Oh,
Yeah,
they
I go
feel
that's,
like
like
New Jersey at like 6 in the morning.
they reimbursed you for that?
Yeah, he got paid for mileage and stuff. If I there was a couple times there was one time I was in Jersey and I had a there were certain like insurance companies that had different rules, and there was one where you had to do it for like 3 days, and instead of 8 hours, it was like 10 hours. And so I had to go to Jersey. So they're like, all right, find a hotel. And like I couldn't find a hotel. There's, barely any internet, no Jeep, whatever. I found this hotel that looked kind of whatever, fine, like a mile from where I was going. And for whatever reason, I was like, I'm going home. So I went all the way home to Connecticut to like get a change of clothes and like get some other stuff and then come all the way back like at night. And I go book the room and I walk in and this guy like pulls in front of me, probably surveilling me, pulls in front of me and like runs in front of me like into the lobby to like check in. And he just, as I'm walking in, like I open the door and the guy's already in there and he just goes, is the jacuzzi room still available? And I was like, oh fuck, it's one of these hotels. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm like, oh no. And I'm just like, yeah, I need a room for 2 nights. And the guy's like, all right, and there's a mirror on the ceiling. And,
Jesus.
like I heard people banging in the next room. Like,
Oh God.
oh, I was just like, I think there was pornos on the TV and stuff. I was just like,
Oh,
well,
that's uncomfortable.
yeah. I didn't get the jacuzzi room.
You didn't get the jacuzzi room? No.
No, no. He got it. He got it before me.
I feel like that sounds like a pretty disgusting place to have sex. Also,
Yeah.
Jay, would you rent the Jay? Would you rent the jacuzzi room
Not
for our
one of
next
those.
show?
Not one of those jacuzzi rooms. Brian and I had a jacuzzi room once
Oh, okay.
In
Cool.
Mexico. Brian won a free week vacation in Mexico, and I guess they thought it was like a couples thing. And so every day they would put the towels in a different arrangement, and it got more and more romantic. Like every day, one day it was like a basket with like roses coming out, and like
It was like an all-inclusive place, and we get down there, and they're telling us like what the rules and everything, and they're like, "Oh, anybody who has like a pink wristband is on their honeymoon." And it's just like looking around, it's like 90% pink wristbands. Like,
Do you guys just
oh,
get pink wristbands to fit in?
I mean, it was awesome. There was a jacuzzi in the room.
yeah, right in the middle of the room.
Yeah, like literally in the middle of the room. So
Yeah.
I mean, it was cool.
We took turns.
Yeah.
You didn't go in with each other.
No.
Ryan's like, Jay, I insist you wear clothes.
We were about to, like 20 minutes ago, we were about to hear Bry's story. We kind of went off.
Oh
the
yeah,
rails
my
there.
story.
Oh,
Okay.
that wasn't his story.
No.
No, that wasn't the story. All right, so it was 3 weeks ago now, or two. It was Columbus Day weekend,
Mhm.
Sunday Columbus Day weekend. There was a football game in New Jersey at the Meadowlands or MetLife Stadium. The Bengals were playing the Giants, and anybody who knows me knows I'm a Bengals fan. And I've been trying for the past few years to go to any games that are local here. Well, I've taken a couple road trips, whatever, but like, they played the Patriots last year. I went. They played the Jets a couple years ago. I went. So I was planning to go to the Giants game. So I told when the schedule came out, I have a friend who's a Giants fan, him and his brother. So I was like, hey, we're gonna go to the game. It's Sunday night. It's Columbus Day weekend. It's a holiday. We don't have to worry. He's like, yeah, 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 no problem. We'll go. And so over the summer, I found this company. I guess it's like a travel company,
Okay.
where they do bus trips to like events. So they do bus trips to like Yankee games, Red Sox games, Mets games, Jets games, Giants games. You, Vermont to go skiing, New York like at Christmas to see the lights and shit like that. So it's like a,
That's cool.
whatever. So they had an ad for the Bengals Giants game. So I told my buddy, I was like, hey, this would be perfect. It's a little extra money, but um we don't have to drive home at 2 in the morning. We just sleep on
Right.
the bus,
Yeah.
whatever. You can't put a price on that. So I signed up for it. I was like, I'm gonna go. I was like, you want me to book for you? He's like, my friend Al. He's like, no, no, we'll do it. Don't worry. So all right. So months go by, months go by. It's a couple weeks now before the game. I'm texting him. I'm like, hey, you gonna sign up for this bus trip or what? He's like, well, I don't know. I like the idea of just watching the game on my couch, blah blah.
Wait, did you already get the tickets to the game?
Well, there's tickets included with the bus trip.
Oh, okay, okay.
So it was like $230. You got tickets to the game, you got the bus ride, they had like a meal, like a
You,
tailgate or
you know
something.
you're fucked. Your friend's like, I'll book later. You're like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
commit
I should've-
fucking
That
now.
never
I
works.
should've
Never works.
I should have known, yeah. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So then like about 10 days or so before the game, I text him again. I was like, well, what do you think about the game? He's like, well, my wife just had to go. My wife just booked a flight to North Carolina because her and her sister and her brother have to put one of their parents in a home or something. So I got the kids all weekend, so I can't go. I'm like, all right,
Okay.
fine, whatever. So it was like Monday before the game was Sunday night. It was like the Monday before the game. I said to my wife, I was like, Al's not going. I don't think I really want to go to this game because I don't want to sit on a bus with a bunch of people I don't know who are Giants fans, and
I mean,
just
could your wife come with you to the game, or was that
she
never
didn't
gonna
want to go. She had to work Monday anyway, so she wasn't going to go. I was trying to get her to go.
Okay.
So I was just like, I think I'll just eat the $200 and whatever. Like, who cares? And she's like,
Yeah.
no, that's stupid. Just go to the game. You'll have fun. You'll meet new people, whatever. I was like, let me think about it. So the next day,
You
so
came
this
to
is
the Met game by yourself also.
yeah, yeah,
I offered to get you a ticket. You could sit
yeah.
with me, and you're like, no, I'd rather sit by myself, Mark. Go fuck yourself.
No, I just went to Kansas City with the same guy and a couple of his friends. We went to a game and they actually ditched me. I was by myself for the whole game, and I'm going to Dallas next month to a game. But so in any event, okay. So this is now Tuesday, the week of the game, and I was in my head. I was like, I'm not going to go to this game. Whatever. So I get an email from the bus company. I'm going to read you the email. This is the funniest email that I've ever gotten in my entire life.
Okay. Quite a setup.
Okay. Hi, Brian. So sorry to inform you that we have to cancel this trip for the Giants game. You were the only one to sign up.
That's pretty funny. That's awesome.
Is that the
actually.
whole email? Is that
I
the,
imagine they also told him you got a refund, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. We will have your refund. We'll have your refund by Monday
Sorry,
or Tuesday of next week.
Do they ask you if you still want the tickets? Because I assume they bought
Well,
the tickets.
I didn't think of that at the time because I told the story to a couple of my buddies at work, and they were like, "Well, shouldn't they have already had the tickets because, if it's part of the package?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess you're probably right. Probably they might have had them or whatever." But I just think it's so funny that nobody for 6 months nobody
No
signed
one
up.
else was at everyone was at your friend's house watching on his couch.
So
Yeah,
I wrote
it's funny
back
that
and
no
I
one
wrote back to
was-
the guy and I was like, "Oh, that's hilarious." I go, "No, I don't want to go. I'm just a Bengals fan, so I want to go and whatever." But then I was thinking, how funny would it have been if I was the only one on the bus? That would have been even better.
What if you were like, dude, I paid for this service. You can't cancel it. I'm gonna sue you unless you take me to the game.
That
Like,
would've-
I had like cater you there.
that would absolutely have been like viral content on like TikTok or something. You just filming yourself going nuts on an empty bus, like doing the whole trip like alone. Like
It's like Mark Ruffalo on the swing. It's just me on a bus by myself.
I got the whole bus.
I would actually probably like that better, actually.
The
Yeah,
bus company's
no.
like, please don't tag us in any of these videos. We don't want anyone to know that no one's on our goddamn tour, our trip.
Uh, and so I was relieved. I was like, "Oh, well, that worked out. I got my money back. I didn't want to go." And then, of course, by Sunday, I was like, "Now I wish I kind of was going." Although the game ended up being terrible.
Your friend texts you like a Saturday night. He's like, I'm gonna buy right now. We gotta go.
I texted him. I was like, I sent him the email. I said, "Oh, you lucked out by not buying a ticket." Although, maybe if you bought a ticket, we would have still had the bus.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah, they
two
were
would've
like,
been
if
enough.
2 people go, we're good.
Yeah. So
I guess maybe they wait for a certain minimum number of people to like buy before they buy the tickets.
and it's
I-
funny, like if you go on the website, it says like, um, it'll say like whatever, and it'll say unlimited capacity. But I guess one is not enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I booked that like in July. So for 4 months, nobody signed up for that.
I don't know. It sounds kind of like a fun. The thing is, like, you have to be enough of a Giant fan. You want to travel to Cincinnati, basically.
Well, no, it was to New York.
Oh, it was from Connecticut to New York.
Yeah, it was to the MetLife.
Oh, it was the MetLife. Okay, I forgot. I missed that.
Yeah,
Thought
I'm
maybe you were saying-
actually kind of surprised that.
Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't just like.
Yeah, I mean, I think I know people always say like the Giants fans they don't like the night games. They like 1 o'clock because it's an older crowd and stuff. But and it was a holiday weekend too, so it
Okay,
was
night games suck for
Yeah.
football. I wish almost the entire Jets schedule is a night game this year.
and the
It's
irony
so
too is
annoying.
that they had a trip to so that was Sunday night, and then on Monday the Jets played the Bills, and they had a trip for that game too.
Holy
I don't know if it got
shit!
canceled or not, but
Jets are also horrible. So like, yeah, Jets are like you put all their games in prime time. Well, joke's on you. We're not going to be even remotely competitive all season.
and it turned out the Mets played that Sunday night too, and they got killed. So it was like I had to watch the Mets and the Bengal game, and it was just a rough night for both of them.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So on a different note, are you guys going to get your new COVID booster?
No,
There's another one?
There's another one. Yeah, you're going to get your new COVID shot.
no, I don't think so.
You guys get flu shots.
Nope.
I get one
Never.
like every other year.
Is there like a theory behind that?
Me?
No.
No, I mean Jay.
No.
I understand you just not getting them. Jay's like every other year. I'm odd year guy.
The flu shot's the one that puts the chip in your brain, not the COVID test, not the COVID shot.
Don't you want an updated chip in your chip? I want the updated chip.
You need a software update.
Yeah, like I don't want to like it's like not getting the new iPhone. I want the new chip. Maybe
that's why I can't sleep.
I've heard this year's chip has like the AI functionality in your brain.
The new flu shot has ChatGPT.
Jay, I'm surprised with your wife being a nurse, you don't get the flu. Like, didn't she harass you about getting the flu shot?
No, I'm gonna get one when we get back from Thailand.
Okay.
If you get back.
If you
Yeah.
get back. So when you get so I assume you guys are not getting the new COVID shot.
No, I
didn't know
should
there was
mention
one.
though I am coming back from Thailand alone, so that should be an adventure.
You're coming back alone?
Yeah.
Permanently?
She's like, is she not coming back with you ever?
No, she got an extra week's vacation.
Oh.
So I have to figure out how to get home from Thailand. And Bri knows how good I am with directions. So,
It's okay. The pilot knows how to go there, so you're
Jay,
fine.
they're canceling the flight. You're the only one on it.
well, I have to get.
The pilot's like, Jay, how do I get from Thailand to the U.S.? You got to tell me how to do this.
Well, there's a 12-hour layover in Singapore.
Jay's like pulling up like he's like pulling up MapQuest on his phone. Like, hey, look, I have a globe here. You go from here to here.
Well, no, I there's a layover in Singapore, so like I have to get from. They'll get me on the plane in Thailand, but then I have to get myself to the plane in Singapore.
Why
after
don't you
it's
sign up
What are
for
you,
like the
12-year-old
old people
kid?
thing where they
Like-
give you the wheelchair?
I'm very bad with directions.
You
should-
can't figure out
sign
how
up
to
for
get.
that. Just be like, I have like cerebral palsy or something, and I need a wheelchair.
They don't ask a single question, and Jay's like, "What the fuck? Well, they're not even challenging this." So Jay, you're concerned about your ability to navigate a layover?
A little bit.
What's gonna happen? You get off the plane, then you get on the plane.
No,
a different plane.
I have a 12-hour layover. I gotta like.
I'll tell you a good layover story.
Yeah, let's hear it.
It involved my grandmother.
Okay.
This was like 15 years ago. She was probably in her late 70s or early 80s. My grandmother used to call our apartment in college and talk to whoever answered, assuming it was me. So Jay kind of knows a little about how my grandmother was. The little dementia, a little Alzheimer's, deaf, couldn't hear anything.
Is this
So
Bri?
for
Yeah,
whatever-
sure, it's Bri. Let's
For
talk for half
whatever
hour.
reason,
Brian's like, go, keep it up. She likes you better than me. You have to pretend you're me.
for whatever reason, she used to fly to Florida to see her sister that lived down there, and she would stay with her for like a week and then fly back. And she flew from Florida to Newark, and then had a layover from Newark to Bradley in Hartford. So she sits down like across from like where her gate is, and she sat there for about 4 hours. And she finally gets up and goes to the gate, and it says, "Excuse me, can you tell me when my flight is going to leave?" And okay, ma'am, what's your flight? And she looks in and says, "Ma'am, your flight landed already." She didn't hear the announcement. The flight took off and
Oh,
landed, and she
God.
was still sitting there.
Jesus.
Are you previewing Jay's experience?
So they ended up getting her like a limo and drove her from Newark to home.
Oh, wow.
That's-
You were
that's-
pretty good.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
really
but
nice.
they were like, "Your flight already landed in Hartford."
That means she's like really patient if she waited that long.
Jay, so you have a 12-hour layover. What are you going to do in a 12-hour layover? Are you just going to stay in the airport? I hope for your sake.
Yes, but in the terminal, the same terminal as my flight, there's actually like a place where I can sleep for 6 hours. So I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna sleep.
It's gonna suck when you're like, wait, the place to sleep for 6 hours does not include an outlet.
Sir,
I can't sleep without my machine.
And then there's a lounge. I have like an Amex card, so there's an Amex lounge for like another 3 hours. And then they tell you to get to your flight 3 hours early. So that'll be my layover.
There's nothing
they
complex
get to
about
the
this.
airport 3 hours early for security and all that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just every time
Whatever. Don't ruin his plan. He's gonna get lost in Singapore. He's gonna get like caned.
Well, Jay, that's 12 hours. You know how many shows we could do in 12 hours?
I know.
Jay, do the show from the Singapore airport. Can we do it?
I could probably do it. I mean,
We're on.
it's just it's stupid because they tell you to get there 3 hours early, and then in 15 minutes you're in, and then you just wait for 2 hours
Yeah.
and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
That's happened to me like
Jay,
every
Jay's
time.
we're like, Jay, what are you doing now? A lot of Singaporeans, I think this is what we call those kind of Asians, are staring at me.
Every time I've taken a flight, that's happened. I go in right away, and then I'm like, oh, I got 2.5 hours to just sit here. That's awesome.
Yeah, no.
Really glad here early.
So the reason I asked about the COVID shot is I got the COVID shot. They do the flu shot. They're like, "Do you want the COVID shot too?" Yeah, throw it all in. Just whatever chips you want to give me. So one of the questions they ask you to fill out a little thing, and it says, "Do you have any chronic health conditions such as cancer, chronic kidney disease, immunocompromised, chronic lung something or other?" Because I didn't take a picture of the entire form. Sickle cell disease, obesity, diabetes, heart disease. And I'm like, one of those doesn't really fit in there as well as the other ones. Do you mark it off and like they're like, sir, no, you have obesity. We're pretty sure you have obesity.
Yeah, can't they tell by looking at you?
Right.
It's like wait, which you have to mark off which one you have. You're
So like a lie detector test?
you're like pretending you have diabetes just because you don't want to like, I'm fat.
I check. I don't check off anything, and they just slide it back. Like, I think you missed
sir,
something.
we understand you didn't fill it out correctly. Which question? Number 7? No, I don't have any chronic. Sir, read the question again.
Read all the answers.
You think I'm immunocompromised? Not that one, sir. Keep reading.
That's funny. So, how much do you think? How much would you sell your kid for, Mark?
I'm gonna say I don't have a price there because I'm not a monster. Go on, tell me about some monster you have on a news story.
You're going to be shocked to know that this took place in Arkansas.
Okay. I'm gonna be shocked that the person traded their kid for Bitcoin.
Worse.
Oh.
Well, Bitcoin's worth something, I guess. What do they do? Some like magic beans for their kid?
$1,000 cashier check and a 6-pack of beer. They had to throw in the beer. I guess there was some haggling going on. They're like, sir, I will not take your kid for $1,000, but if you throw in that 6-pack.
How many kids did they have? Did it mention that? If they had like 12 kids, maybe I could see them being like, we don't even need that last one.
I believe it was their only kid, and it was 2 months old.
Okay. And they didn't think they can get more than $1,000. Not just they're like, fuck, not that they're just monsters, but they couldn't even get more money.
They did. They got the 6-pack.
Oh, okay. You're right. Was it like a Molson? Like, what was the 6-pack? Did they say what beer? Was it? Because I know whatever beer it was wants that as like an ad for them.
Speaking of beer, I can't find Rolling Rock anymore.
Rolling Rock. So good you trade your kid for it.
I mean, maybe it was. Maybe they couldn't find any Rolling Rock. And they're like, you know what? I'd trade my firstborn kid for a Rolling Rock.
Could you imagine like they're like a whole protest against Rolling Rock and they're like, it's not us. We did not trade. We were innocent bystander. They used the beer to trade for a kid. It's not our fault.
The final batch of Rolling Rock was shipped from Latrobe in 2006.
Oh.
So, I guess that's why you can't find it.
Wait, it ended in 2006?
Yeah.
Was that Molson?
Wow.
What?
Molson, you said?
Rolling Rock.
Wait, no. Rolling Rock's definitely been around post 2006.
Jay, were you hitting the head and just woke up?
No, maybe it changed owners. I've definitely had a Rolling Rock since 2006.
Hey, speaking of Bitcoin, I have a question. What's the deal with this scam where
Crypto?
you can bet crypto on betting crypto on the election?
Yeah, so there's a bunch of sites. Not all of them are crypto, but there's one called Polymarket, I think.
Yeah, that's
where
the
they said someone bet like $30 million on Donald Trump, and the theory was they were trying to skew the Polymarket stats. Basically, it'll show that he was going to win by a lot to influence voters. Is the conspiracy?
It seems like an enormous just money laundering scam, probably, right?
It most likely. So is it most of crypto money laundering?
I guess. I still don't understand what money laundering is, but
I don't either. I call everything money laundering.
yeah.
But there's other sites. So Robinhood is even getting in the business of betting on the elections.
It seems a little weird.
Yeah,
Right. I mean, isn't it enough that we're betting our country on the election? We have to bet now money.
yeah.
Doesn't that seem to give people extra incentive to cheat?
I mean, there's a lot of incentive to cheat because you control being the president and having that kind of power is pretty profitable.
It is. I'm just saying, if you have if you have a lot of money in a candidate winning, wouldn't you be motivated to I don't know, set a box of ballots on
It's
fire?
on fire. Yeah. Are you arguing, Jay, that putting money into this betting will make politics corrupt? I think not, Jay. Politics is you cannot corrupt politics.
Can you imagine having so much money that you would just literally just piss away $20 million just to hand to Donald Trump or Kamala Harris to be here, just use this money to campaign.
I can't imagine having $100 I could piss away.
I mean, that's just insane. You can't find anything better I get it, it's self-interest, but you can't find anything better to do with your money.
I forget if I mentioned in the show or I may have said to Jay off the show. I was like I keep getting emails. I get all these things from Kamala Harris. We're trying to raise money. Even today, I need $47 more. What do you fucking need the $47 more at this point? The election's on Tuesday. You're buying what the fuck? What are you buying with $47?
You're buying a lunch.
I need to buy people lunch. But she has raised in the 3 months she's been a candidate, she's raised over $1 billion. I'm at $1 billion, you can't get this election? What else do you need?
Yeah.
It would be great if Kamala at the end of this is yeah, I didn't actually win the election, but I bought the New York Jets. You guys give me a lot of money.
I just wanted to go back to that story real quick. There was a reason for for selling the baby.
Oh, is there going to be a reason now? I misjudged them as monsters. Jay's going to give the reason, and we'll all be like, "Oh, you feel bad about yourself." They're the woman was dying of cancer, and the only way she could cure her cancer is by selling her kid for $1,000. And you also needed to pour beer on it to get rid of the cancer.
She should have just tried not having cancer.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes you judge too quickly, and I think that's what happened here because.
Okay. We know Jay is going to make this story even worse.
The mom said it was not working having 3 dogs and a baby. So there you go. She had to make a choice, and she
wouldn't
chose
get rid of the dogs either.
I mean, the dogs have already been there. They're probably it's hard to even get a dog that's under 2 months old. So the baby's really new.
So apparently,
last in, first out.
So apparently, they just filmed a video of them signing a contract with the man who totally wanted to buy this baby and was not reporting this to the police immediately. That's how they got.
It is funny how easily some people just fall into obvious setups.
I know. It's so funny.
And the fact that police are even doing this undercover scam, but the police are we need video evidence of this. They're don't worry. They're filming it themselves and putting it on TikTok. They think this is actually a cool thing to get them viral.
So the guy said the check will come soon, but he gave them several cans of beer as collateral.
Oh my God.
So
Rye, we need you to go undercover. You need to go infiltrate the people that are going to sell their kid for $1,000. Can you do it?
You can count on me.
At the end, does the guy it turns out to be Jay, and Jay's I'm really the mystery shopper. I really want your baby. I gotta fill out a form about it. Whatever.
Mystery shopping for a baby. So, Bri, you've done shrooms a few times, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever considered? Have you had a bad trip?
I had an hour of a bad trip.
I'm just gonna tell you, Jay. I have a cutoff soon, and we have a question from a listener. Is your story so good that you don't want? Let's do the question from the listener, and then you come back to your shroom story.
I'm already halfway through it. But
oh, fuck your story. Okay. Top 3 Halloween movies. The franchise watching season of the Witch currently. The top 3 Halloween movie franchises.
I knew you'd not understand.
So Jay, back to the shroom story.
I knew you'd not understand.
This is a question from a listener. We have so few listeners. This is from Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick.
Please don't fuck with Patrick.
So when he said the franchise, he means actual Halloween movies, not movies about Halloween. The Halloween movies, and season of the Witch is Halloween 3.
Oh, Season of the Witch is Halloween 3.
Yes.
Okay, I was wondering. I was like, I haven't heard of that movie.
And he's
Got
asking
it.
you what your top three Halloween movies are.
I don't think I've
Movie.
ever seen
Wait,
a
is he
Halloween
saying he wants the movie or the franchise?
He wants
movies from the
your
franchise.
favorite movies from that franchise.
Okay. Why didn't someone else who has a horror podcast go first?
So, yeah, the number three basket cases is our horror movie podcast. It's on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I feel like you guys have no idea what's going on right now with this question. So, Patrick, I invite you to ask that for our horror movie podcast.
I've never seen it. I don't think I've ever seen a Halloween movie.
Jay, just answer the goddamn question. No one's gonna listen to your goddamn podcast. What is it like you're like doing a cliffhanger for our show?
No.
Tune in on my other podcast for the answer.
No, the other two guys, Frank and Peter, are huge Halloween fans, and they've seen every single one. I, confession time, have not seen 3 Halloween movies, so I cannot do a top 3.
I don't understand the question. Is it about the movie, the Halloween movies?
Yes, the movies with the title Halloween. Halloween 1, Halloween 2, Halloween 3, Halloween H2O.
Oh, it's not just Halloween themed movies. It's movies from the Halloween franchise.
Yes.
Okay, so one of the all-time horror franchises, and you've seen none of them.
No,
because you're like the
I've-
shittiest host on the show.
I've seen 2 of them. I haven't seen the other like 18
Okay,
of them.
I think
I know,
I think you're.
Yeah, I was watching Friday 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, and I kind of skipped over Halloween. So
I will go because I can do this list much better. Jay's not qualified. Okay, Bri. My top 3 are part 1, 2, and 3. Okay, your turn,
I
Bri.
knew you were going to do that.
2, 3, and 4.
Okay, so both of us seem to we're pretty decisive. We say exactly which ones we like. Jay hasn't seen them. It's pretty pathetic, Jay. And you have a horror podcast. You're like some expert.
Apparently, 3 was very controversial because it doesn't have Michael Myers in it, and so some people hate it because of that.
Okay, look at you doing random facts about movies you haven't seen.
Well, just because I haven't seen it doesn't mean I'm not knowledgeable in it.
Okay, I've seen them all. So I say part 1, 2, and 3. Bri says part 2, 3, and 4. And
So, Bri, your shrooms, you never really had a bad trip more than like an hour, right?
Correct.
So you never decided to amputate your penis because you had a bad trip.
or sell your kid for $1,000.
Not while I was on shrooms, no.
Because I feel like there was more going on than this guy who did that. Because shrooms, like, I don't think it makes you that violent or crazy.
They say 1 out of every 4 people that do shrooms amputate their penises. The leading cause of penis amputation.
It said the guy was suffering from depression and alcohol abuse, but I feel like Brian and I were definitely involved with alcohol abuse when we were in our shroom phase. So I don't know.
Did he agree with that he was suffering from alcohol abuse, or was he maybe like, I'm enjoying alcohol abuse?
Yeah, Brian and I enjoyed alcohol abuse. I don't think we suffered from it.
No. Suffering now from it.
Yeah. Now we're paying for it, but there wasn't a lot of suffering back then.
Does he go to like when he finishes his trip? Does he go to the hospital with the separated penis, or does someone find him? Did they explain the details?
This isn't anybody we know, is it?
It was in
Jay, is it you?
It was in Austria, not Australia,
Oh, okay.
Austria.
Austria.
Yeah. So yeah, they didn't say what happened to it. It just said he chopped it up.
It'd be great, like the end of like a football game, a baseball game, whatever. Like the reporters ask the most stupid fucking questions.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be great at the end of this. They're like, "Sir, how are you feeling when you're cutting off your penis?
It said
Do
he
you want to
ingested.
thank anyone for your ability, like doing that perfect slice?"
It said he ingested 4 or 5 mushrooms, which is a lot.
That's a lot. That's like toxic level. I would think, if it can be toxic level.
Yeah, because I think 3 is like a massive, massive trip.
Because I mean, shrooms are like they're poison for your body. That's a lot of poison.
That is. So
Yeah.
Apparently he had a terrifying hallucination and delusion. So he chopped it into multiple pieces, and the details of the event are unclear to the patient because he was friggin' out of his gourd. And he
Before we have sex, I have a funny story I got to tell you.
So he tied a piece of cloth around it, placed the parts in a jar filled with snow, and then he left the house in search of help. So he didn't call an Uber or like get a cab. He just wandered out of the house with a jar full of penis bits and stumbled around in the snow.
So you see your neighbor knocks on your door and you're like, Oh, it's Bry. Oh, he's what a nice neighbor. What you did? What you did? Holy shit! We're
So-
moving right now, honey. Get the fuck out of this neighborhood.
It took him 5 hours to get to the hospital, and the pieces were contaminated with soil and snow. So they were able to save the tip and about 2 centimeters of the rest, and that's it.
He's like, just the tip. I mean, that's all I have, just the tip. I'm going to use just the tip.
So they were able to replant the tip. So he just has a tip sticking out now.
So did they say if this helped or hurt his depression?
How do you feel now?
How do you feel? Are you
I heard shrooms were great for depression. So how are you doing with that?
Yeah.
have you thought of taking maybe Valium or something that can help you with that? I need a fucking penis back.
I got a really quick one because I know you got to go, and I feel like we probably shouldn't end on amputation. So
are you sure? I think that's probably that's going to be funnier than your next story. But go on.
So Taylor Swift had an auction for there was a Taylor Swift guitar that was put up for auction for $4,000. It was not autographed. It was just said to be Taylor Swift's guitar. And so this guy who hates Taylor Swift because she's, why would you? I don't know. Exists.
Okay, so he used his money to buy a Taylor Swift guitar, even just because he hated her. I wish Brian, you wish you had enough money that you could spend $3,000 on something you hate just to like, oh, I hate this. I want to spend $3,000 on it.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, it gets better because he bought it and then immediately smashed it because he showed her and he smashed the guitar. And then it turned out.
Right, hang on, Brian. I have a question for you. Would you rather spend $3,000 on that guitar or the guy's penis?
Oh, the guitar.
You don't want the chopped up penis?
Nah.
Okay.
So it was. It turned out that the guitar was fake. It was Taylor Swift
This
never
is
owned
also
it.
a mystery shopper scam.
So Taylor Swift never
Undercover
owned the
scheme.
guitar. So he spent $4,000 on just a normal guitar that Taylor Swift never owned.
And then he broke it so he couldn't get his money back.
Right.
Also, I'm gonna guess a guitar by Taylor Swift would cost well more than $4,000 because people are paying $4,000 to see her in concert.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think your kid plus a six-pack of Molson will not get you. You'll only have standing room tickets.
Why are people so mad at Taylor Swift?
Because Donald Trump. Why is Donald Trump so mad at her?
People are like, she hasn't done anything. I don't get it. There's
She
so many
sings,
celebrities that are so shitty that you could be mad at. Like,
She sings lyrics that you don't mind your 10-year-old daughter listening to. Like that's how dare she?
yeah, people aren't even as mad at Diddy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand this world. I really don't.
Why doesn't Diddy just say he's running for president? Make it get out of jail.
True.
He put up the charges.
Yeah.
Somehow, like in the last minute, Diddy becomes president, and people are like, "I didn't really like Kamala and like Trump." Diddy, like,
Here's
at
Diddy
least
to
he's
the
got some good
rescue.
stories for the press conferences.
I really like that song he came out with in 1998.
He said, "More money, more problems." It made sense to me. That was. I understood everything after he said that.
Every time he does an interview, he just says a lyric from one of his songs. All right. I know Marc's got to go. So thank you for listening, everybody. The Brink of Sanity at gmail.com, Brink of Sanity 3 on Twitter. We are Brink of Sanity on Instagram and Patreon and Facebook and YouTube.
And next time we record, we'll have a new president, and Jay will be somewhere in Singapore.
Yes.
We might all be in Singapore.
Jay will be lost in Singapore. Sorry.
So stay tuned for that. And yeah, we'll talk to you all soon. Thanks for joining, everybody.
So long.
Okay. I got
See you on the other side.
Bye.
Bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye.